I'm going to quickly go through the parent meeting slides as a quick screencast, and then please feel free to reach out with questions as you have them. But let's get right to it. Our goal here is just we have a fabulous batch of staff that's going to be working with us this upcoming season. My name is John Wilson. I'm the director at Stanton High School, but I will not be alone in working with students. We have the dream team of some returners, some new folks that are joining us, and you'll meet them throughout the season. One of the biggest takeaways of the whole meeting is about commitment, and the way that the commitment for marching band is a little more intense is maybe too strong of a word, but really individual and important than pretty much any other ensemble or group your student may have been a part of before. I've got a video here of, if you haven't seen a marching band perform before, of our band in our 2024 season, and right here from the jump of our show, you can see how each person has a prescribed place to be. I've muted the audio right now so you don't hear the individual parts that each person is playing, but every single person on the field has a unique spot for all of our 60-some different sets throughout the show, a unique part for their instrument or unique work for the guard. And so if one person is out on any rehearsal, if we think these original block that we started in, it very much messes with the visual spacing for the people around them who've gotten used to setting their position based on the individuals around them. We miss that part musically or visually, depending on if you are wind or percussion or guard. It is really important that each person is able to be at each and every commitment for this, or each and every event. Now, there are emergencies, and that is understood, and we'll communicate in those scenarios, but we really want to eliminate preventable absences. And so before you fill out the commitment form, really do think and talk about the level of commitment that is required for this. I don't want to scare people off, but it is really hard for the group to get started in the season and then lose somebody. So I'd much rather have those serious conversations now and decide, yes, this is something we want to commit to for the season, or this is not something we want to commit to for the season, and that is okay, but now is the time to make that decision. Our commitment forms are due by the end of the school year. You're welcome to turn them in sooner if you are feeling ready to go. And I asked for a $50 deposit with that commitment form. That is going to go directly to our host site for our Sleepaway Band Camp, and they need $50 per person on June 1st. So that $50 with the deposit, or $50 with the commitment form, is going to be really important to keep our spot at Sleepaway Camp. This is, I'm not really going to go through this in detail right now. This is also on the handout PDF, but this is also just to give you as much of an idea and be transparent right up front about the cost associated with marching band. The bulk of the cost here is a sleepaway cost, and again, if you take nothing else away, we can help with finances. I have got shoes that people who have graduated from the program have donated that can be used. We can help assist with the cost of the season shirt. We can help assist with the travel costs for band camp. Just please reach out. So if your family is able to cover all these costs, fabulous. But if your family needs some assistance, we can help. Just reach out. I ask again, $50 deposit with the commitment form. That goes directly to our host site for Sleepaway Camp. And I have applied for some grants that I won't hear back from for a little while that might bring this overall cost of band camp down. Regardless, the remaining cost of band camp will be due before we go. So July 18th is our benchmark for that. And then lastly, the consumables for students, so shoes and shirts or body tights or gloves for guard, you'll get much more information about that in July. But by August 1st, I want to place that order for all of our consumable equipment for the year, and that money will be due at that time. Just to, again, drive this home, I'll move my face here so you can read it. Finances should not be a barrier for anyone to participate in marching band. If your family is able to cover the cost, fabulous. If you need some assistance, please reach out, and I will make sure that happens. If you are a returner, we had some fundraisers throughout the 2024 season, so our fruit sale and our tidal wave vouchers. The individual student proceeds from those fundraisers can go directly from the band boosters towards the cost of marching band or save them for future things. But if you are a returner, please reach out and I'll pass your inquiries along to our band booster treasurer to figure out exactly how much is in that student account that can be applied to these costs. Moving forward, health and medical. We are not a VHSL governed activity, so we don't collect physicals. We're not required to collect physicals. You are still welcome to get a physical if you are unsure of where your student is at the moment, but we do not collect them. But that means that communication about the health and medical and social and behavioral needs for your student is critical, especially those of you that I haven't had in a class for this past year. But being able to know, hey, we need to watch out for this, or this kind of motion is not going to be healthy, or this kind of social setting is not going to be healthy, please be reaching out. I will collect some preliminary information in the commitment form, and then much more detailed information before we go to band camp. But if you have at any point concerns, or you think there's something we need to know about your student, please reach out so we can make sure that we are looking out for the health and safety of all the students in the program. A tiny bit about band camp, and I'll move my video again here. That's a little video of the practice field we'll get to be using. And this is also typed out in your commitment form briefly. The main reason I want to go to a sleepaway band camp is community building. We've talked throughout spring camp about my primary goal for the ensemble is community. I want this to be the kind of ensemble and the kind of activity that marching band was for me when I was going through my own high school program, where everyone has a place to belong. We were all looking out for one another. Marching band is intense at times, and it's so much easier when everyone is paying attention to the folks around them and being a welcoming place. The unstructured time and like transitional time in a sleepaway camp is going to allow us to be intentional in building in team building activities and just having time to be together. In our former model of like 8 to 5 at the school, it's kind of all business, eat lunch, all business, go home. And I don't think it has supported the team building and community building in a way that I believe sleepaway camp will. Lodging is going to be in cabins, about 8 to 10 people per air-conditioned cabin, which is very exciting. Got some pictures of kind of what those bunks look like up here. Bathrooms are like dormitory-style bathrooms, so stalls and individual showers there. There is a bathroom in each cabin, okay, so they're all kind of contained units. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for all the students is provided every single day by the Camp Bethel kitchen staff, so we'll also be collecting any dietary restrictions in advance of traveling to camp, and the cost for all the meals and the cost for lodging is included in that band camp cost, so no additional pricing or no additional cost on that. Medications are going to be handled by primarily myself and Miss G as the Stanton City Schools staff, so I will also be collecting much more detailed medication and medication delivery times before we go to sleepaway band camp. The commitment form does not contain a lot of that information, but know that it will be coming later. It is required. We have as much rehearsal time in one day of band camp as 2.25 weeks of regular season rehearsal, right? So each day of band camp is the same rehearsal time as 2 weeks of practice afterwards. We learn so much of our show during band camp. My shoot for the moon, crazy lofty goal this year is that we can learn the entire show at band camp. We'll have lots of cleaning to do. That will be huge. But band camp is required. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a lot of work, and it is required. We are going to need chaperones to travel with us. Also, more information on this will be coming later on, but I know that we are going to need some assistance in evening times when we have like evening activities for the students after our rehearsals are done, as they're transitioning into getting showered, getting into cabins for bed, taking checks before lights out. Me and my staff are going to be taking care of everything during all the rehearsal parts of the day. That's not any different than when we've had band camp here at the school. But we are going to need some help in the evenings from some parent volunteers, and some folks have already reached out at the parent meeting, which is fabulous. But if you are interested in joining us, please let me know. We will be able to offer like all during the day, pretty uninterrupted work time for folks that work remotely in the camp office, which has Wi-Fi, has a printer, has air conditioning, has spaces to work. And so if that fits your work schedule, fine, and you want to just come work at camp and then be around in the evenings, we'll take care of the days. But more information to come on that. If we have a scenario where there is a student who is violating band camp expectations, so this would be bringing controlled substances on the trip, or being outside of cabins after lights out, or being in a cabin that you have no business being in, or any other of these serious poor choices, that student will be sent home that day, and it will be the responsibility of the parent to come get them. If the parent cannot get them that day, then we will arrange transportation for them to be sent home that day. There's a very good likelihood that expulsion from band camp is probably expulsion from the rest of the marching band season. We will be going over these behavioral expectations, again, in much more detail during pre-camp before we head out. But students, be aware, this is the first time that Stanton City Schools, so far as I know, has ever sponsored this kind of opportunity for students. And we want to represent the best of the best as we take advantage of this opportunity. And so know that any of these poor choices will not be tolerated. Just again, a few pictures of the site. We saw the lodging already. Bunk style beds. We will not be filling every single bed in every single space, I don't imagine, but I anticipate groups of 8 to 10 per cabin. We have dormitory style bathrooms in the bottom right. a few common areas that we can use for hanging out, but also for like indoor practice spaces. A different cabin setup. It's going to view from the outside, and again, it's kind of a similar bunk setup there. Some things that I have to talk about with the students every season, and they always say, oh no, that won't be an issue this year, and yet every year it has been an issue for at least one student. We have an academic policy in Stanton City Schools. This isn't just for the band, this isn't just for the high school, this is all of Stanton City Schools. Students must be passing all of their classes to participate in after-school activities, and for marching band, this includes performances. I do not want to be in a scenario where a student is required to sit out from a performance at a football game or a competition. Again, I would consider this a preventable absence, right? An avoidable absence. But if a student is failing a class, then they cannot perform and they cannot rehearse. So each Monday, Mr. Tibbs, our athletic director, pulls a weekly grade report, and if there is any student in the marching band with an F in any class, they are required to do a 1-hour study hall for every day of rehearsal. Now, our schedule for next year is built in such a way that high schoolers will be able to do that study hall in the 3:30 to 4:30 window before rehearsal. We'd like to avoid that scenario at all. So marching band is not an excuse to let your academics go. Trying to structure rehearsals in a pretty predictable way where we can build our schoolwork around the rehearsals, but know that we have to be passing our classes, and I can communicate with teachers to keep up with assignments as needed. Also, poor school standing and suspensions. If students are making poor choices, so bullying, fighting, or vaping, that end up in a suspension, students not only miss the time from rehearsal and performances that they are suspended for, but there's also a mandatory period of poor school standing when they return to school in which they still cannot participate in rehearsals. So as you're looking at the schedule, if a student makes one of these poor choices on October 1st, they have missed most of the performances, and the band is missing them from most of the performances. So as we're getting into the school year, I'll be giving constant reminders to students, but you hear me say a lot, the best of the best. We have to be making good choices in and out of school and in and out of rehearsal, because suspensions and poor school standings impact the entire band, and they do make it hard to make progress when we're missing people for, again, preventable reasons. Schedule overview. In the last page of your handout, I've got every single date for the entire season, and I've got us registered for almost all the competitions. Additionally, if you go to our stantonband.weebly.com, and I think if you just Google Stanton Band, go to the calendar tab, I have every performing ensemble for Stanton High School set with a different calendar in Google Calendar. What I love about this is that if you use Google Calendar, you can use the subscribe in Google Calendar button and just add it directly to your family's or your personal Google Calendar. If you don't use Google, but you do a different kind of electronic calendar, we can also download things in iCal and it will integrate. Just know that it won't automatically update. Like if I find out times for a competition and shorten an event, you'll have to go and update that. Google Calendar, if you subscribe, you will have it always, and have any updates that I put in will be right there. But a little bit about our schedule. We are going to rehearse for returners. This is slightly different. Every Monday and every Thursday. If Monday is a teacher workday, we still have rehearsal on Monday, right? If it is a holiday, you'll see there are 1 or 2 Mondays that aren't listed, and that is because that's a holiday versus a workday. But every Monday and Thursday, 4:30 to 7 p.m. I'll be giving students a snack after school, after the middle schoolers get here on the bus. And so by having longer rehearsal for fewer times a week, we can spend more time working and less time with the setup and teardown. And already in our 3 days of spring camp, this schedule has been fabulous in letting us get ready and then move at a relaxed and focused pace. So that is going to be the plan for next year. If you are a member of percussion or color guard, we will have additional rehearsals every Wednesday from 4:30 to 6. And this is because the requirements for any kind of marching band percussion, front ensemble or drumline, and for color guard is really different than the kind of expectations in your class. And so we will have our staff here on those days to have more focused rehearsal on those skills so that we are able to be plugged in and a part of the full band in all full band rehearsals, and then we can get those individual auxiliary skills in our Wednesday rehearsals. Competitions are planned for full days. Return is going to test. Sometimes that is leaving at 6 a.m. and getting back at 11 p.m. Plan for full days. They're not all that long, but I won't be able to give exact schedules until usually the week prior to the competition. You'll see on our schedule this year I've really tried to be intentional about having on weekends with football games and competitions and off weekends where there's neither a game or a competition. So we will get some more rest weekends this year than we did in prior seasons, but please plan around those competitions. Again, we need every student present for these performances. One, for the idea of the show to be portrayed, but two, for the other performers to be confident in their places and in their music. We have 6 home football games this year. On all of those days, students will just stay at the high school with the help of band boosters and parent volunteers, maybe like yourself. We will feed them dinner. We will run through our show here. We will take them to the stadium. We will bring them back here. But the football games are a whole lot of fun, and we do take care of feeding the kids on those days. We participate in 2 parades here in Stanton City, the Stanton Veterans Day Parade and the Christmas Parade. But again, schedule is printed in the back of this packet, or it is just posted if you're reading the digital one, and it is going to be updated in Google Calendar on our website. Please add that to your personal calendar so you're going to have that automatically updated and right where you see all your other family's scheduling needs. Some additional, at the time that I'm recording this anyway, some future audition times to be aware of. Percussionists, this is front ensemble and drumline, will audition for myself and Nate, our drumline instructor, on Tuesday, April 22nd here at Stanton High School. We will start that at 4 p.m. because high schoolers will already be here. We're going to go individually through students. They will play what they are interested in performing on next year for us, and then when they are done, they are free to get picked up. So I don't have an end time listed. I will ask that students communicate with their rides and with their families. When they are done, and they are free to go home. Leadership auditions for returning high school marching band members will be the day after that, Wednesday, April 23rd. Again, starts at 4. In this particular case, students will pick a particular slot of time, so they may go home and come back if they are one of the later slots in the evening, but they will be responsible for their time, and they also just need to be here for the individual time that they have committed for. And then lastly, if you are a current 7th grade family, a rising 8th grade family, we do want to do an individual audition. This is not so much to cut people, this is not something to be stressed about, but this is a chance to make sure in an individual setting that each student that is in this youngest age bracket is going to be successful and have a good experience. This is like the varsity level of band performance in kind of our 6 through 12 band setting. And we have had 8th grade marchers participate for a number of years at really high success levels, but I want to check in with each individual and make sure that this instrument that you've chosen, is this going to transfer well outside, and can we maneuver this instrument around, or do we have the technical ability to play the show music, and check in with questions. This is not something to be stressed about, but this is something that we have done every year, that we've included 8th graders in the marching program. So that will be Tuesday, April 29th, starting at 4:30, and again, that will be once each individual is done, they are free to go home. And so we'll ask the students to be communicating with their parents on that. We do need parent help to make the marching band organization work. These are a few examples of ways that parents have helped in every season I've been a part of this program, but we need chaperones. We need people that can help with uniforms. We need people that are willing to move equipment and load equipment and drive the equipment to and from games and competitions. People to help coordinate dinners and meals for our football game days. People to donate snacks to give out before practices and after performances at competitions, drivers for the trailers, fundraiser assistants. We are not looking for people that can do all of these things. We are looking for people that have a skill set that they want to share, and we will find a way to help benefit the ensemble with that. So look for more information on that coming out too, but please know we really rely on our parent volunteers to help us, even if that is just showing up to the performances to cheer the students on. That makes a huge difference in and of itself. So parents, we will be looking for involvement and appreciate any way that you can support the program. I believe that is a rapid-fire run-through of the information in the handout. Please reach out with questions. We have had a fabulous 3 days of spring camp. I'm really, really excited about how good these students are looking in the visual fundamentals we've done, how good they're sounding in the preliminary music rehearsals we've done, and it's going to be a fabulous season. So please reach out, respond to emails, use Remind, however works for you, and I'm so excited for this upcoming season. Thank you. Take care.